Welcome to TrailManners, the podcast so dedicated to mountain trails and running that they broadcast out of a 78 Volkswagen bus in the mountains. Who does that? Eric and Joel are your hosts and will bring you the trail life as you may have not heard it before. You hear about everything from gear reviews, nutrition to keep you upright and moving forward, and they'll even bring guests into the bus for conversations that you won't hear anywhere else. It's time for some running adventures on a higher elevation. The old 78 Volkswagen bus is fired up and headed to the mountains. Here are your hosts for TrailManners, proudly representing the 801 with their passion and love for the trails, Eric Manning and Joel Hatch.
Welcome to the TrailManners Podcast, episode number 84. Today, we're going to be talking with Logan Ledford. So if this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The TrailManners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at TrailManners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome back to the TrailManners Podcast. We are
Still
at Park City Run Company,
right
in Park City, Utah. Canis was kind enough to let us just take the day. Really,
pretty much. We could have done shows
all day long. We could have done one with Canis when he talked about all his earlier driving skills, and we'll leave it at that.
His skills,
or lack thereof, right? Leadfoot,
I know.
But we got a new guest on the show.
We do.
Super pumped. We've been wanting to get him on for quite some time.
Yep.
Schedule worked out. Logan Ledford.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this will be fun.
This will be a lot of fun. So if you you're going to be listening to Logan, and we actually flew him in from Louisiana,
from Texas,
just for the show. So no, just kidding. So Logan, let's start there. Let's start a little bit about, you're from Louisiana.
Correct.
And you are now living in Utah.
Yes, that is correct. I actually started this journey in Monroe, Louisiana, born and raised. Kind of fell in love with the outdoors in Louisiana. There's not much of an outdoors lifestyle in that area. So I decided, one day I need to take a chance, and Utah was it. I didn't know anybody, never been here before.
Really? So how did you decide on Utah?
I mean, it was like a dartboard.
It was actually, kind of. I was actually waiting for a position within my company to open up in Colorado.
Okay.
And in the meantime, something opened up in Salt Lake.
Right.
And I talked to a buddy who had been out here, and he said, Utah's a great place. You should really give it some thought. And, sure enough, nothing had opened up in Colorado, and I was tired of waiting. And, if you don't take a chance now, you might sit there 10 years later and say, what if? So I took a chance, moved out to Utah, and have not regretted it.
How long ago was that?
That was 2 years ago.
2?
So
only 2? You've only been here for 2 years?
2 years.
It seems like you've been here longer than that.
Yeah. I have to agree.
I wear on people pretty quickly. So.
Do you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, because me and Jill do we're proud, and we talk about a lot, kind of the Facebook stalking and things like that. So I think that's for us. Seems like you've been doing like the Wasatch Mountain Wranglers, right? Mm-hmm. Looks like you've been on that page longer. So were you a trail runner before you came here?
Actually, I wasn't a trail runner. I got started out in obstacle races.
Okay.
Oh.
So when I was in Louisiana, I played baseball initially. Played baseball into college, and I got out of competition for a few years, and finally a buddy talked me into doing one of the obstacle course races, and I got hooked on the competition.
Did you?
And I
like a Spartan race,
yes,
Tough
exactly.
Mudder?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I actually went and did one. I still wasn't a runner. Running was always punishment for me.
Right.
Growing up in Louisiana, if someone tells you to run, you did something wrong.
Yeah, it's true. You did.
You stole something.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yes. So running was still, it was something that I wasn't used to. And I let someone convince me to do a 9-mile obstacle course race.
Right.
And about midway through that race, I actually got lost on that course. And it happened to be on one of those downhill sections, luckily. So I was about 7 miles in, lost as can be, just running. And it was one of those, I was no chance of winning, just winging it, having a good time. And I felt that, I guess you would say, runner's high, where it kind of got into me. And from there, I had another friend in Louisiana actually convinced me to do my first ever ultra marathon shortly after that.
So you went from like a 9-mile Spartan race to the ultra.
Well, funny story, yes, actually. I did a training run before my first 50K. It was 15 miles, and it was the longest I'd ever run.
Right.
And I went out and ran that. It was a 50K the following weekend, and I swore to myself I would never do another ultra marathon again. That was it. Never run a marathon. I'd never run a half marathon at that point. The week before I went out on that course and ran 15 miles, and the rest is history.
So what was that first ultra? Do you remember?
The name?
It was Big Dog 50K.
Oh, right.
I believe is what it's called. It's in Louisiana. It's in Lincoln Parish Park in Louisiana. There is a mountain bike trail there, and it's a 10-mile mountain bike trail, and we looped it 3 times.
And so I'm gonna be right straight honest. I'm not familiar with Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Monroe?
Monroe is northeast Louisiana.
Okay.
Excuse me. If you're from Louisiana, you realize that there's a difference between South Louisiana and North Louisiana.
Right. What's the main difference?
The main difference is the culture. So South Louisiana is the Cajun.
Right.
North Louisiana is more of the redneck, hillbilly
Traditional
kind of people.
Southern. Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Gotcha.
where were you then?
I was North Louisiana.
So you're the redneck.
Exactly.
Way you
Right.
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I've never been there. Just TV. Okay. Louisiana. Yeah. It's like humid.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's as humid as can be.
Okay. And you guys have alligators.
We do.
Okay.
There's no
Even in
shortage.
northern.
Yes, there's plenty of alligators in northern
And you've
Louisiana.
got
What the hell's wrong with them? Don't they know better?
What's wrong with the alligators?
No, what's wrong with them? I mean, isn't there like a dividing line where you guys have this agreement, like, okay, you're not going to come this far north, and we won't come this far south?
I think they missed that memo. Actually. Yeah.
But you guys have got like other crazy critters too.
Yeah, like people.
snakes and
Lots of
Lots of
snakes.
hillbillies?
So water moccasins.
Oh, those are mean.
Those are the ones that you really have to watch out for.
They will chase you down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, they are not friendly. So that's what I tell people all the time here who are scared of rattlesnakes. I'm like, you're lucky. Rattlesnakes have a warning sign.
so it's
Right.
like you play with those.
You're
then.
running through Louisiana. You don't get a warning. They just lash out
You're like,
at
what
you.
was
Oh my
that? That
gosh.
feels weird on my
Exactly.
calf.
Uh-huh.
All right. So because you started trail running there, was there? And you just mentioned a little bit. Was it kind of scary too, though? Because that's
Well,
what I think, right?
It wasn't really scary.
So how many years ago did you do this race?
This was, I believe, in 2013.
Okay.
Was the Big Dog Ultra.
All right, so 4 years ago, did you guys have a big trail running scene there
No.
at that time?
No, there was actually, in North Louisiana where I'm from, there's only 2 single-track trails, and one of them's underwater in the river the majority of the year. So the river
Okay.
actually rises. It's a mountain bike / running trail. It's about 3 miles, and you can loop it as many times as you want to.
Okay.
And the other one was Lincoln Parish, which is 10 miles.
Right.
And it's a single-track mountain bike trail that a lot of people run also.
And,
Okay.
and again, I'm guessing here, but it's pretty flat.
Well, let me rephrase mountain bike trail. It is a trail that bikes go on, and you can occasionally carry a mountain bike out there, but it is far from a mountain bike trail.
Okay.
It's rolling hills, so there's no extended downhills. There's no extended climbs. It's all just short, punchy climbs. And
Okay.
So
back down.
elevation-wise, you're starting at
zero.
Zero.
and you're maxing out at.
Like
10.
10.
Uh-huh. Exactly right. Yes,
That's awesome. I had a big run in today. I got a lot of vert, 27.
that's exactly right. Yes.
2,700? Awesome. No,
Feet.
27
Well,
feet.
people ask me all the time, what kind of mountains did they have in Louisiana? I said, we had plenty of them. We have football stadiums and overpasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was our mountains and
That's
vert
right.
training.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Overpasses. That's awesome.
Just run up and down an overpass.
That's right. You get 20 feet out of that.
Skipping
Yes.
over water moccasins.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
it.
So you started doing that, and then you said you got that runner's high, and then did you find because you were a baseball player,
Correct.
and me and Joel were soccer players.
Yep.
So we've converted. Did you just have this immediate connection, I guess, with trail running, or running in general?
It was actually with trail running. So I could care less about running on a road, as bad as that is to say.
No, it's okay. We
It's
agree.
a necessary evil, as I
Yeah.
would call it.
Yeah.
Well, running was a necessary evil years ago, but
Yeah.
True,
now
when you
running
got
on the
punished.
road is a necessary evil. So I had a connection with trail running. I would actually drive out to that trail 45 minutes away and
Wow.
run, on the weekends because I didn't want to run on the road, and I didn't want to wade waist deep through water running on another trail. So that 10-mile option.
Did you have
was a lot
leashes?
That's their version of the treadmill, underwater treadmill.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Low
Yeah.
impact. My
Yeah.
knee hurts. I'm gonna go run on
Yeah.
the trail.
Yes, exactly. So there was a connection there with trail running. I kind of fell in love with trail running, and that's what made me want to initially go out to Colorado.
Right.
I heard about trails, and I was at that time just getting into mountain biking. So
Okay.
there was a lot of mountain biking out in the area,
Right.
and I wanted to be somewhere where I could actually enjoy that.
So do you miss the food?
I am the oddball of Louisiana,
Uh-oh.
as
Oh,
bad as it
man.
is to say.
Sounds
You
like it.
vegetarian?
I'm not a vegetarian, but
No, he's a
I've
vegan.
No, I'm not vegan. Although I did bring in my vegan protein
That's
for some
right.
reason. It just tastes good. I'll actually put bacon in it sometimes.
Atta boy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Stir it with a bacon stick.
Exactly. That I do. A true story. So I was actually the person that would always cook at the house. A lot of the options in Louisiana, you didn't have many health food options, and I always tried to be healthy and active.
Okay.
And oddly enough, I would cook the majority of my meals, and I was that guy who sat at the house on Sunday and meal prepped.
Wow.
Just for,
For the week?
upcoming week. But when you do go on that long run, you enjoy some of the foods, crawfish and
I like
you know,
crawfish.
blackened fresh redfish from
Yeah.
Louisiana. Those are some of the things that I do miss.
So
Wow.
there's definitely some dishes you miss.
Exactly. And grandma's cooking. Let me tell you,
Oh.
grandma's fried chicken. If you ever find yourself down in Louisiana, you just ask me, and I'm gonna point you in the direction of my grandmother's house. She's gonna fry you up some chicken, and you will never be the same.
We need to.
I'm ready.
How
much
how
gas you got in the
close is
car?
the back 40 to Louisiana?
I have
do you
no
think?
idea. I'm
That's in Arkansas.
Okay. So,
So
what
maybe we
would-
can drive down to
Uh-huh. And
To
keep in
grandma's.
mind, I'm
to
north.
Mama Ledford's house.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Keep in mind, I'm
Okay.
northeast Louisiana.
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
don't have to drive too far south.
I know.
Awesome. See, no,
Road trip.
there's like stereotypes of different places across the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, and that's just
Right.
the way it's always will be. Utah, it's Mormon,
Yeah.
right? Everybody talks about, oh, it's Mormon. They don't have fun. They don't do this.
Right.
Total lie.
Yeah.
You get other states, Louisiana.
Right.
You talk redneck. You talk hillbilly. Is that the other one?
Hillbilly.
Okay.
Yes.
So right.
Okay.
So I think of drinking out of a mason jar.
Yes, that does
Right?
happen.
And do you guys moonshine?
There,
Is that more like Kentucky-ish?
That's more the Kentucky
Okay.
Right.
side
Right.
of things.
Okay.
We're more of the hop on the four-wheelers, stay out all night, riding four-wheelers.
Frogging. Do you got frogging?
Gigging.
We did.
Gigging.
We did
Go
frog,
gigging.
Yeah.
Frog gigging.
So, yes, we did a lot of gigging. Frog legs are pretty good. Deep fry
I
frog
like
leg.
frog legs. I'm not gonna lie.
There a lot of that coon hunting. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
You just turn the dogs loose, sit there all night, wait for the dogs to tree the coons, go out there and
Squirrels.
It's a good old time. Squirrels all
Squirrels.
the time.
But yeah,
oh, yeah.
but like people in Louisiana eat squirrel, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Squirrel dumplings is like one of the top things.
Does
to
Grandma
eat.
cook those?
Grandma cooks
Squirrel.
everything.
Dude, we're gonna
Dumplings.
love going to Grandma's house.
you bring Grandma a possum, she'll cook it up.
Oh
for
my
you.
gosh.
I don't know if I could do that.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
I could go squirrel. Squirrel dumpling sounds good.
I can go possum over squirrel. Squirrel's greasy.
I would go squirrel.
Ooh.
You do the possum.
See,
I'll
here's
do
the thing.
squirrel.
It's all about the way you cook it. And
Yeah.
keep in mind, in Louisiana, one of the reasons why I made my own food is you pretty much fatten everything
Yeah.
up.
Well, yeah.
So the actual taste of the meat kind of goes out the window.
Right.
So, I mean, you could cook a skunk and it would taste delicious in Louisiana. It's all about that seseasoning.
You can do
Yeah.
that one too if you want.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, especially for the drive home or if
Yeah.
we're driving.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it is. It's because that's why I was asking about the alligators and because you have bugs. I hear a lot of people say there's
Mosquitoes.
a lot of mosquitoes.
Okay,
will
so-
take you away.
People complain about the heat and the bugs here.
Right.
It's like vacation for you, like
Oh,
Cabo.
yeah. I come out here and I'm like, I haven't experienced heat since I moved here.
Yeah.
And the bugs, I mean, you sit outside in Louisiana for 10 minutes
Get
and
eaten
you're
up.
itching for 3 days.
You like
Right.
look bloated, but it's
Exactly.
just swelling.
Yeah.
You really have to. I mean, you have to wear some weighted shoes because those mosquitoes will carry you off. They're big.
This is awesome. So some of the stuff I've heard is like you're
true.
confirming
Yeah.
from
Right.
because you lived there your whole life, other
Yes.
than 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So you grew up there,
Correct.
full on redneck.
Yes.
God, I keep saying I want to mix
It's
those
quite
two
all
up.
right. I accept it. I'm
I
owning
like
it.
that. I like when people own what they're.
Right.
And it's
Their
not like-
passion.
yeah, and it's
Right?
not like derogatory. You know, it's just like the way
No.
it is.
Actually,
right? I guess it could be.
It could
right?
be
Yeah, it
derogatory.
could
If you
be,
look
for
up
sure.
the definition of redneck,
Depends
in
on
the
how you say
dictionary-
it.
Yeah, and who you're talking to. Even?
True.
Yeah. So
Okay.
You're
But
saying it with love.
I totally am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel the love.
Oh yeah, totally. Because this is awesome. I love talking to people that not just have moved here because I've been here for so long and I have appreciation and love for the area, but also people that have come from somewhere else to know more about. Like again, I've never been to Louisiana.
I know.
You know, other than watching a Saints game on TV.
The Saints
right?
game.
Oh yeah.
Or Katrina, or I'm serious. That's
Right.
my whole thing from it. But we've met a few other people from Louisiana just recently. Trinity and Mike Stephenson.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because they talked about making beignets.
Yeah.
We want.
I've been trying to link up with Mike for months now.
Yeah.
We'll be in the same place and just miss each other.
Yeah, because you guys both were at our festival, the film night, and I'm talking to you because I didn't know you're from Louisiana. Like when you came, because we've stalked you and known who you are for quite a while.
Okay.
Well, you came up to the film festival, finally got the introduction, and you had your accent. I'm like, hold on, I'm missing this.
Right.
Like I never
You're making the connection. Are
Yeah.
you?
I'm like, wait a minute, you are not from Utah.
Yeah.
No, he's not from Layton.
And then Layton. And then you said where you were from, and my immediate reaction was, "Oh, there's some other people here from
Yeah.
Louisiana. You probably know them because Louisiana's so small."
yeah, right. There's only 3 people live there.
Yeah,
Exactly,
pretty much,
yeah.
and they're all here. So,
Yeah.
so you moved here.
What was your initial thought when you first came out
like
here?
right when you got here, like Dumb and Dumber? Like,
Well,
this is cool.
Dumb and Dumber.
I'll be quite honest. I was telling Eric a little while ago when I first moved here, I actually had my vehicle stolen.
Like
So,
how long were you
3
here?
days after I moved here, I had my vehicle
Welcome
stolen.
to
Is this in
Utah.
Salt Lake?
This was in Salt Lake. So when I moved
Where
out
did you
here,
initially move to? What neighborhood?
I was in South Salt Lake.
Oh, okay.
And
Rosewood.
Yeah.
here's the deal. I didn't know anybody, so
Well, you had to lock your car here.
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is in Louisiana,
You didn't have to.
You get out of the store, you leave your car running.
Yeah.
Run in the store.
You're
go
good.
shopping.
Pet raccoon in
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
But here, it was a group activity. I didn't know anybody out here, so I signed up for every group activity that I could possibly be a part of to meet
Right.
people.
That's awesome.
And I went to that first group activity, and sure enough, I left an impression on them.
Someone from the group probably stole it.
Yeah, probably, right?
Exactly. So, yeah,
Did you ever get your car back?
it's out in the parking
Same
lot
one.
right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. I've
Right
had
on.
a car stolen
Yeah,
at a trailhead, and it's a horrible feeling.
it is.
You feel like violated when you
Right.
get back in. Once they fix it back up, you're
Yeah.
kind of like
It's not the
dirty.
same, right?
Yeah, and I had
Yeah.
the car for a long time after too. But
Yeah.
so you got your car back, but you were also saying that that first time, first little while here was rough, not just because your car was stolen, but all the stuff that comes with that.
Yes.
and you didn't know anybody here.
Didn't know anybody. Actually, still banked with a local bank back in Louisiana, so there was no access to a bank
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I lost my ID. I lost my debit card, so I had no access to cash.
Wow.
So I didn't have any friends. It was
Right.
pretty much just winging it for a few weeks after moving here. I actually, the night that my vehicle got stolen, I had the keys to my apartment were in the vehicle.
Oh, jeez.
And I actually, here's the way it happened. I had 2 key fobs for my vehicle.
right.
And one of them I would just throw in the vehicle. The other one I would go run with, which is what we were doing. It was
Right.
a group run. And we got done with our run. I ran back in, grabbed my bottle of water, and still had my key fob, and the other keys were sitting in the vehicle. And, they stole the vehicle. It had my house keys on it.
Oh, man.
So I wasn't able to get inside. I didn't
Right.
have any access. I didn't know anybody to call. So I sat outside for a while of my apartment, just sitting there, basically feeling homeless at this point, sweaty and freezing cold. And I luckily was able to get my father on the line, and he was able to call a locksmith,
right.
and they took his credit card number and got me into the house,
Yeah.
thankfully.
Wow.
So I was
Without
able to-
ID. I'm trying
Right.
to get into this house. I know you got
Exactly.
a call from my dad in Louisiana.
Yeah,
I'm trying
exactly.
to get in this place. I got no ID.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm looking stellar because
Yes.
I'm sweaty and
Yeah.
yellow.
Exactly.
Can you let me in? The
That
guy's like,
is-
you got it.
Exactly right. Yep.
That's pretty funny.
Wow.
Had to make things up as I go.
So at that point, were you ready to leave? You're like,
No, actually,
this Utah thing sucks.
I know.
well, it was quite comical, and I appreciate the experience. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of patience during that time. I learned that
Learn to lock your car.
This fast pace, yeah, exactly.
Right.
This fast paced lifestyle and this need to have it now, lifestyle that kind of made me take a step back and realize what was important. So I took away that 2 weeks with the understanding that some of the things that I kind of took for granted, not as worried about anymore. So
Nice.
It was a learning experience. And
Right.
Yeah, I don't regret it. Yeah.
So when you left Louisiana, did you stay with the same company in Salt Lake? So it's like a transfer.
Yes.
So you still were working.
Yes.
So that right when you were
Same
here,
company.
it was
So
kind of getting
yeah,
going.
I had the week off to get kind of transitioned,
Right.
and then they stole my vehicle, and I had another 2 weeks off. So
Yeah.
Yeah, after not having a vehicle, and that was all I have is a company vehicle, so I didn't have any other way to.
Oh.
So it was a company car that got
Yes.
stolen even.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun calling my boss the next morning. Yeah, I just got out here, and that vehicle that was waiting here for me, it's not here anymore.
Oh.
It's kind of gone.
Did you guys take it back? Is this a sign? Did I
Yeah,
lose my
exactly.
job?
It's
You guys
not.
playing a trick on me?
Exactly.
So where do you still work for the same company?
Same company.
So who
yes.
you work with?
I work for it's Liberty Mutual Insurance, essentially.
Okay.
So I'm an insurance adjuster, and have a company minivan,
Nice.
which a lot of people make fun of the minivan.
That's
Nope.
okay.
Let me
Not
tell
us.
you, that thing,
It's
you
nice,
can
huh?
you can fit a lot of extracurricular activities in that minivan.
Extracurricular activities.
I like that. I like
Uh-huh.
that. No, that's
Put an
super
alligator
cool.
in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bring it and scare some people. Try to steal this sucker.
That's right.
Exactly right.
Or whatever noise they make. Chomp chomp,
Like
whatever it is.
I like the bear sound. That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's kind of a mix between a bear and what I would feel an alligator
Okay.
sounds like. Like if I had a
I think the
stuffed
alligators.
alligator.
I think they hiss.
Do they?
The
They
hiss,
hiss?
they'll kind of grumble a little
Yeah, I
bit.
think they're hissers.
It's like when I wake up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Grumble a little bit,
Uh-huh.
hiss. Joel, we still running? Through a text, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're out here, and you say you started getting in with group activities.
Correct.
What were some of the first groups you came across? Was it running specifically, or were you
Running.
kind of looking at different things? Just running?
Initially, it was running groups. I got on that Wrangler page.
Okay.
And funny story. It's kind of odd that we're sitting here, but I was actually on Canis's first group run
Wow.
for Park City Run Company.
Oh, wow.
He threw it out there on the Wrangler page, and that was the only resource that I had to meet people at the time. And I showed up, and sure enough, it was just me and Canis out here.
Nice.
We went for the first Park City group
Did
run.
ya?
Yep.
That's so
I saw
cool.
my first moose,
Yeah.
and I was initially drawn to the moose, so I start walking towards it, and Canis
Can't scratch.
Canis like, hey, Logan, no.
Yeah.
You got to understand, moose are not nice.
No.
And
That's not the shop
Yeah.
moose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
that you
The
might want to
shop
run
moose.
the other way when you see a moose. So
That brings up an interesting point. Like when you got here, though, and they started to experience, what was your thought? I mean, because Louisiana, we've kind of covered that a little bit. And
Yeah.
then
Your
you're
mountains are 27 feet tall.
Yeah.
Right.
at the
well, I
peak.
was absolutely.
That's the highest overpass.
It's,
Yeah.
I look back now, and it's absolutely amazing. When I first moved out here, the first run that I did, I had the app on my phone, All Trails.
Uh-huh.
And one of the first trails I found was the Hogle Zoo trailhead.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I didn't know anything about vert at the time.
Uh-oh.
Nothing at all. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, so that trail is about 4 miles.
Right.
So yeah, I'll just go do a quick little 4-mile run. I made it about a quarter mile, and I was still going straight up. And I'm like, yeah, I think a half a mile is going to be good for the day. I'm going to turn it around right here.
I'm going to turn
So,
it around.
Exactly. And that was on the Hogle Zoo. It took me a little while to adjust to actually going uphill.
Right.
I can remember I joined a friend at Desolation Lake.
Oh, yeah.
I joined them for a run one night, and they nearly killed me. I got about 5 miles in, and they still joke at me this day. They're like, yeah, I remember that first time you came on our group run, and yeah, we didn't think you were going to make it. We didn't think we were ever going to see you again. And, I mean, it was a struggle. I had to adjust to actually moving uphill quickly. So it was a learning curve for sure.
What about the scenery? I mean, what was
Beautiful.
I mean, the difference. I mean, again, between, and I've never been there, but Louisiana compared to what we're in right now. I mean,
Yeah.
were you just? I want to say blown away, because that's how I feel sometimes still in the
Even when you
mountains.
drive up
Exactly.
to Park City,
Yeah,
it's really pretty
and
when you
it's-
drive up here.
Yeah, but I mean, were you just kind of like gawking at everything? Type?
Yes. So
Did you drive? So you drove yourself out here
I
from
drove,
Louisiana,
drove out here in a budget truck.
right?
Yes.
And you had not been out here previous to
Never.
that. So what was that like when you were driving across the country? It's kind of flat, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's some mountains.
Well, so I picked up my cousin in Dallas, Texas, and he was actually in the process of moving to Colorado.
Okay.
So I drove up to Colorado with him.
Where at?
And yeah, I think he was in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
That's where he was moving to.
Right.
And I basically picked him up. He didn't do anything but just joined me on the drive up to Colorado Springs. So
Okay.
basically, I gave him a free lift up there.
Yeah.
is how that went.
Gotcha.
But I got to Colorado Springs, and I started driving down to Salt Lake. And I can remember this like it was yesterday. All of a sudden, they shut down 80
Oh.
in between Colorado Springs and Salt Lake because of a huge snowstorm that came through.
Oh,
Right.
I got stuck in Lyman, Wyoming, which
Oh.
is nothing but
There's-
one little
That's a
flea
booming
bag.
metropolis.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there. Oh my
So-
gosh, that's in between. That's in between Rock Springs and Evanston.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
There's not a lot
There's
there.
nothing.
There's
There's
like the
nothing
sign
out
that
there.
says Lyman.
There's some big hotel out there. What's that
Little
thing?
America.
Little America's out there.
Yeah.
But I was not close to Little
No.
America. No, I was close to
Lyman's got a good restaurant.
Taco Time.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. So they don't have a Motel 6. I think they have a Motel 1 there. So
Like
I
1
walked-
hour.
well, luckily
Check in, get your sheets.
Luckily, I walked in and I was like, "So how much is it going to be for the night?" And they're like, "Oh, it's only $40." Like, sign me up.
I'll be
For
here
an
a
hour.
week.
For your first hour.
Exactly.
Here's your roll of quarters.
I got snowed in. I got snowed in Lyman, Wyoming, and then finally the next morning they opened up
I-80, yeah.
And I'm still old redneck from Louisiana trying to just cruise, and I'm thinking this fishtail and budget truck is a blast. I'm just laughing the whole way through there. Never driven in snow, so in Louisiana, if you get an inch of snow, they're shutting down the city.
Yeah, the whole state shuts down, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting and I'm reading these signs that say chains required. I'm like, okay, I don't know where to buy a chain from, but
Chain for what?
what do you do with these
I got a gold
chains?
chain on, and we're good.
They have these chain up areas, and I had no clue what they were. Never seen this. It was actually the first time that I'd ever seen a snowplow as well. Wow. And so I'm driving into Salt Lake, and I come through, I believe it was Echo area, and my jaw just dropped. I was like, wow, this is incredible. And it was that moment where I was like, you know what? This is worth it. This is worth everything, the chances that I'm taking.
Right.
I don't regret it one bit. I'm going to make the most of this. And
Right on.
it was just that view. I mean, I'm looking over at Echo Reservoir, and
Right.
the mountains coming up, and the canyon that I'm about to drive through. And I'm like,
Right.
I've
Driving
never seen
through
anything
these
like
mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fishtailing in the budget truck.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hooting and hollering.
Oh, I hope so.
Exactly. And it still amazes me to this day because I get caught up in, I got caught up in running a lot of ridgeline and doing a lot of high elevation exploring last year. And sometimes I'll still go out to the shoreline or the pipeline, and I'll stop and think, I came from Louisiana where we didn't have anything nearly this beautiful. And it really causes me to take a step back and say, you know what, I appreciate even this. This is incredible, and I'm thankful that I made this choice and decided to move out to Salt Lake. So
Well, it's
Wow.
like a leap of faith, really. I mean,
Yeah, it
just
is.
even hearing your story to get out here in your first little bit here, that could be
Yeah.
like a perfect sitcom.
It could.
Driving
I like
out
it.
here, stopping in Lyman, going through the snow, getting your brand new car stolen.
let
And
me tell you, it would have made a hell of a reality TV show.
Right.
Especially seeing me join some of those first winter runs. So another thing, in Louisiana, you don't have a winter like you do here. So
Yeah.
I'm joining up with some friends, and I'm showing up in camouflage. I got camouflage mittens on. I'm wearing some rubber boots, like knee-high rubber boots. I don't know what to expect.
waders,
Like,
chest waders.
what are you doing? Funny story. Steve Frogley, up in Heber, he carried me fishing for the first time not too long ago, and I showed up in the old chest-high waders from Louisiana, camouflage neoprene. I'm ready to go duck hunting. He's like, oh, "What kind of boots are those?" I'm like, "I don't know. They're going to work though. Don't worry about me. I'm not going to be seen by a fish."
I'm not going to be seen by a fish.
So it was the clothing, changing all of that. It took a little while to
Adjust culture
exactly.
and
Yeah.
Yes.
new
Realized
weather.
that I
and-
didn't have to wear 36 layers of down jackets to stay warm.
Right.
They actually make nice clothing that you can be aerodynamic in out here and still go run.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. So then when you got out here, I mean, did you just immerse yourself in running? Or did you just kind of,
Actually, the first year I was here, I was into mountain biking.
okay.
I ran just to keep my running fitness up, but I did a lot of mountain biking. I spent a lot of time driving down to Moab.
Okay.
I can actually remember the first time I ever went down, or up here in Park City, I went down the trail Crescent Mine Grade, and it was about 3 miles of downhill, and that sold at that moment.
Right.
I got down to the bottom, and the smile was on my face for a week. I had so much fun bombing that thing, and I got into mountain biking. And last year, actually, I said, I'm gonna try some of these longer distance races. I'm gonna set some goals, and I set a goal to do my first 50-miler last year, and January 1st rolls around, and I went out and I ran 10 miles, and kind of got caught up on the ease and the beauty of running,
Right.
and it's kind of taken over
Now, when you
since
say
then.
the ease, are you talking about like just getting ready,
Getting
your
ready,
yeah,
gear
just
so I
ready,
don't have to
Throw
getting
the
out of
shoes
the car?
on.
I don't have to worry about tubes for the tires. I don't
Right.
have to worry about all those mistakes.
Just get out of the car, tie your shoes,
go.
and off you go.
Yes.
So what was your first 50 miler then that you were talking?
Squaw Peak.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yes.
So you just busted right into it.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
Squaw
did.
Peak, for those that don't know, that's a butt kicker.
Mhm.
That's some serious business.
Yeah.
But that's old school. That was cool that you chose that right away.
It was part of the course. I had never been to that area, so that was
Right.
another goal of mine. Is I still want to experience a lot of places that I haven't been.
Right.
So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do Squaw Peak, is
Yeah.
because I'd never been down there.
So what
and
was that
would give me-
experience like for you?
It was brutal. It was.
Had you done anything between that big dog?
So I did the
or-
Big Dog Ultra.
Right.
I paced a buddy for when I first moved out here. The first person who actually carried me out on a trail run, he was doing Antelope Island 100.
Okay.
And that was like 2 weeks after I moved out here. So I paced him for that, and I actually ran like 20 miles of that with him.
Right.
And when I say run, I mean we walked and had a nice conversation.
Yeah.
But it was great, and I was scared to death the whole time. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do 20 miles and keep up, because
Right.
these people out here are superhuman. So I did that. I paced a few other races. I did some shorter races. And then that year I actually did Antelope Canyon half marathon.
Okay.
And this is what kind of got me. I realized that I was in a new place. Everybody that we were sitting around eating with before the Antelope Canyon race, they were doing the 50 mile and the 50K. And
Right.
they turned to me and like, Logan, what distance are you doing? I was like, I'm doing the half marathon. And everybody's response is, that's it? Like, what do you mean is that it? It's 13 miles. And where I'm from, if you run 13 miles, that's good for the year. You're done. and everybody's asking me if that's it, if that's all I'm running. So it changed my mindset as far as distance and
Right.
what the body's capable of in this area. I mean, it's just a mindset thing. So I did do the Antelope Island 50K that year
Okay.
in preparation. And then other than that, I don't think there was any other races in
Just
between
training
there and
runs.
Squaw Peak.
Right.
Yeah, just getting out and having fun.
Wow.
And when we say training runs, I didn't have any training plan whatsoever.
Just
I was
run
just
out
going
and
out there
run.
and having fun.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So did you have people, since you started to immerse yourself or get to know these people that run and go on group runs, did you ever pick their brains? Did you ever, like, Squaw Peak, again, is not easy.
No.
Right? And there's some vert, and it's 50 miles, and it's not like the Buffalo, 50K,
Right.
which is a tough one out there because
Except, but it's flat.
but it's flat.
Ish.
Yes.
So did you pick people's brains, like nutrition-wise, what to wear, how to drop bag, or did you just go, I got my bottle, my pack, my waders, I'm
Right.
good?
Here's stereotypical guy here. I thought that I knew it all, so
Yeah.
I didn't need any help. I was just going to get out there and wing it. There's still a picture of me at mile 26 chugging a beer in the Squaw Peak 50 miler.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, no, absolutely not. But I tell you what, I did learn a valuable lesson in that 50 mile race. I tried to eat nothing but aid station food,
Right.
aka junk food, and at about mile 32, my body was just in so much pain. My stomach was hurting so bad, and finally I started eating some of the food that I brought.
Right.
And it was more nutritional,
Because you're a
better for
healthy
you.
eater.
Yeah, exactly.
So you weren't used to filling your body with this
yes.
crap.
And I was just taking full advantage of the aid station buffet, and
That's
I'm
right.
going in grabbing everything. I'm like, oh yeah, this looks good. I hadn't had this in 3 years.
I never had sweaty M&Ms before.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So-
so sweaty chips, man.
Soggy.
So I did learn that valuable lesson that day. I decided that aid station food, as tempting as it may be, probably not for me.
Well, it
And
depends on what
this is
race
right.
you're at, too, though.
Yes.
Really,
yes,
I mean,
exactly.
those all the ones that Matt Gunn has put on in the past, those aid stations have good food.
I tell you what.
Typically, they do.
Yes, my secret to success is the peanut butter, jelly, and bacon. So you just
All
take the
right.
bacon.
Yeah.
You take their little peanut butter.
Oh, you just
and
scoop
jelly.
it.
You just throw that bacon in the sandwich and go.
Got okay. So you're
Yeah.
even a sandwich style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I like
All
it.
right,
You get some
that's
salt and
also
some fat and some
sweet.
protein.
a little protein. You
I
get
like
the
that.
whole gamut.
I like it.
That's like a quick stop at the buffet.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Joel's a pierogi guy.
Okay.
Oh, man.
That's-
You got to be careful.
Oh, I didn't know what those were until Wasatch,
Right.
and someone explained it to me. I was like, no, I'm never going to eat one of those. That sounds horrible.
No, they're delicious.
What was it? We were at
We were at Smut.
and Joel was like He had a couple.
Yeah, more than a couple.
Yeah, he was hammering them.
Yeah,
I didn't have one.
It was like that first time that you have like sugar and your eyes just get all big. You're like, oh,
That's what I'm.
give me another one of those right now, and then you can't stop because Carl Meltzer's just handing you more,
Yeah.
and he's just egging you on because
Yeah.
he knows you're gonna throw up.
Yeah. That
Walking
point,
out of that last aid
yeah,
station.
he's like, oh, this is gonna hurt
Going
him.
for it.
Exactly.
And he's almost home. It's
Yeah,
his
he's on.
last stop.
I know. He's got like another 8 miles. You're fine. They're tempting.
Okay.
You'll like them. Trust me.
I'll try it one of these
Yes.
days. Yes, absolutely.
So you did how'd that race go overall? You had hit 30 something, but
It was brutal.
Yeah.
So Squaw Peak, everybody told me, oh, that last 10 miles, it's all downhill, and then you hit a little road section that's downhill, and it's right to the finish line. So we got to Bozong Hill,
Yeah.
and I had taken a fall right before we got there, and my hydration bottle fell out of my pack and fell down the mountain.
Did you
so
know
I
it?
lost it.
Did you know it?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
But, it was either go scraping through the bushes trying to find it
Right.
down the side of the mountain, and I'm already dead tired, so I didn't know what I was getting into. I'd never been on
Right.
the course, and everybody just told me about Bozong Hill, and I was like, no big deal. I'll handle that. So I get to Bozong Hill, and I'm about halfway up, and just thirsty as can be. No water whatsoever.
Right.
Had another buddy,
Exposed.
Brad Sween, was right there. He's like, oh, yeah, you can have some of my water if you run out. We'll just stick together.
Right.
That son of a gun got to Bozong Hill, and he took off drinking his water, and I'm sitting there back behind him just struggling. I'm like, I remember when he
watching the
told me.
water drip off his
Exactly.
chin.
He's out there with a big smile on his face drinking water.
That's
So
awesome.
We got to the top of Bozong Hill, and there was a snow patch, and it was the nastiest, dirtiest snow patch ever.
Yeah.
And my face went straight into it.
Did you? Just
I'm
laughed
I'm
it up, huh?
Oh, yeah.
You
I'm
had like
going
a
at
dirt
it.
snow
It was
cone.
like a snow cone, yes. Exactly.
Didn't care.
Didn't need flavor at all. I
You
mean,
got some
let's-
sage.
Oh,
and
it had
sprinkle
flavor.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I don't know how many people had peed on that little snow spot, but I didn't care.
He's brushing.
It was good to go.
it off.
Don't eat the yellow snow unless you have no water on Bozong Hill.
That's
Then
right.
it's perfectly
It's
okay.
game
It's
on
okay.
at that point.
So I found that little snow spot, and I started just loading
chowing
up.
it.
Yes. And then we got to the top of that aid station there, and I'm like, all right, so now it's all 10 miles downhill. I'm
Right.
cruising. And we take off, and a quarter mile in, I'm like, oh, this is going to be horrible. So it's nothing but rocky, technical.
It is. It's a hard
Avalanche.
downhill.
Yes.
Avalanche
And it's-
trees.
Yep.
And
after 40 miles, my legs are not willing to
Right.
be, swift and
Nimble.
skip over
hurdle
all
and
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
And so I pretty much had to walk it. And then we get to that last 3 miles of downhill road. And I'm like, all right, so it's going to be a gradual downhill road.
No.
No, it wasn't downhill either.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I was, by that time, I was like mentally just taxed. I was like, I'm done. You know what? On my watch, it says 50 miles.
Yep.
I'm done.
There's
right
3
here.
miles of road, so
Stop
I'm
right
walking
here.
this road.
Yeah.
So I pretty much I jogged a little bit, walked a little bit to the finish line, and got my first 50 miler done.
There you
Nice.
That was it. That was it.
That was my first 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same pretty
And-
much experiences of the yellow snow.
Yeah. that buddy of mine who was enjoying that water, he asked me a few months ago, he's like, hey, are you going to do Squaw Peak again this year? I'm like, nope. Nope. And then he actually had the audacity to ask me a couple of weeks later, well, if you're not going to do it, are you going to pace me? No.
No. Wait a minute.
I'm not pacing.
Is that Brad?
Is that Sween? Sween asked you
Brad
to
Sween.
pace
He
him
asked me.
at Squaw.
Well, we have a lot of fun on the trail, so.
Well, I
He
can
just wants to
understand
hang
that.
out
Yeah,
and enjoy
exactly.
it.
Well, that's fair enough.
But
But-
he did tell me I don't need a pacer, but it would be a lot more fun if you were out there with
all
me.
right, fair enough.
Does he do bottles or does he do hydration vests?
He does a hydration vest, and it's something like that. He'll have the bottles and the
Okay, because I was going to
and
say
the
what you
extra-
could do is poke a hole in his hydration vest
Uh-huh.
and then take off on Bozong Hill and
Yeah.
leave him back there
I should
with no
do that.
water.
Just
Say,
sit up
does
there
that,
laughing.
does that
Oh
suck?
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
you need to go pace.
Our eyes are getting
Just
all big.
sabotage.
I
his race.
totally sabotage him.
Uh-huh.
Right, just say I'll fill it up for you.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
go over there and just
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, dude, you got
Unhack
some
the
yellow.
hose at the bottom so it just
Exactly.
floods out.
Yeah, exactly.
It must have been that fall back there that you took. I don't know.
Yeah.
What fall? This one. Bam.
So yeah, the Squaw Peak 50 miler. I finished that one, and the rest of the year it was more. That was my A race. That was my goal
Yeah.
that year, and sure enough, I got done with that, and that wasn't enough. I needed to do more. So
Gets in ya.
By all
does.
means, I did more.
Did you?
I,
Just dove right in.
Oh yeah,
So what'd you do the rest of the year?
I did I did speed goat shortly thereafter, and
We always giggle about that.
Yeah.
honestly, I enjoyed speed goat 10 times more than Squaw Peak.
Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, it was
Just
all on
you're
trail.
in better shape.
There was a lot less road.
Yeah.
I was in better shape.
Yeah,
Right.
water.
I kind of I knew
Didn't
that
run out of water.
exactly.
Yeah.
No
So
junk
I was
food.
hydrated the whole time. I knew how to eat
Right.
during the event. So that one was enjoyable. I had a great time. Loved it. I would do
Good.
that again.
Well, and Speedgo, as tough as it is, and as much as it kicks you in the teeth, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
Oh, it
especially
is.
when those flowers are
Oh,
popping.
yeah.
And the terrain you get to be on. I mean,
Right.
that's the hard part is when you talk about Speedgo. Like, I'll never do that again, but you kind of miss it.
Yes.
You
No.
know, I kind of do some.
I don't.
I do just the colors, but now I can take the tram up and act like I'm taking photos during the race.
Uh-huh.
And, volunteer.
Yeah, I got to do the mini speed goat, the discrete peak series
Yeah.
later in the year, and I signed up for that one, and I mean enjoyed it just as much. Something
Right.
about that ridge going up to Hidden Peak.
Mhm.
I don't know why, but I've always liked it.
And it's tough.
That's so
but
tough.
It's pretty.
It's
though.
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yes,
both
absolutely.
sides. So you're because one of the things that we want to talk to you about because we think it's really cool. We've talked about it on the show many times too. Is you've been here for
Couple years.
couple of years. You kind of starting to immerse yourself into the Wrangler group
Mm-hmm.
and running. But then you just, how did this start with your whole cleanup crew? Right.
Oh,
Did
that's
you
right.
just-
You're the cleanup guy.
I'm
right.
I'm trashy.
So this is-
I keep it
Yeah.
trashy.
so this is kind of becoming your MO. Like
Yeah.
when people see garbage articles or they're like tagging you in the photo. Hey,
Yes. Right.
Logan, we need to go to the Pacific Island or we need to go here and take. So how
Yes.
did this come about?
It was on the Wrangler page. There was a lot of fuss about.
Oh, that's right.
you know,
It was 2 years ago, right?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Well, it was probably about a year ago now. But
Was
there was
it?
a lot of fuss
Yeah.
about
The
trash. And,
was it the soda?
soda.
Garbage.
It was the, it was
Just
the soda on the
garbage.
summit, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that
So,
what-
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of trash being found along the trails, and a lot
Right.
of it was being, attributed to a particular group, which
Right.
is some of my great friends.
Yeah.
And I just looked at this conversation going on the Wrangler page, and everybody was just piling up. And everybody was just complaining and not offering a solution to this problem that
Right.
we supposedly had. And I know the person that they were
Right.
trying
The pin
to
it
pin
on.
it on.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not true
No.
at all.
Yeah.
He's good as gold.
Except for that red hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Sam Jukes, you're nailed. But no, he's good as gold. Actually, him and I internet dated the first year I was out here.
I love
he
that.
He sent me up the mountain on one of
my
my first adventures, and
Internet
Swipe right.
and from then on, I asked him every weekend. I was like, Sam, what should I do this weekend? What should I do this weekend? And he would always give me a different place to go.
That's
and
awesome.
I just followed his lead, and then it took about a year before I actually met up with him. I found him one day at Donut Falls. He was walking with his kid on his shoulder, and I said, Sam Jukes? And he's like, who are you? I was like, we've been internet dating for the last year.
You haven't told your wife about me?
You're Logan? He stepped right back, didn't he?
Yeah, he was like, whoa.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it was funny, and shortly thereafter, I joined on the first run, and we've been running ever since. So, yeah, I appreciate everything
Wow.
that he's done for me. I mean, it's
That's
been
awesome.
incredible. But yeah, he was kind of getting piled on, and it was the thing is I mean, he doesn't care.
Right.
Throw blame at him. He understands what he's doing, and he's not. I mean, he's out here to try to improve everybody else's experience
Right.
in the mountains. But nobody was offering a solution. Everybody
Right.
was just complaining, and it was going nowhere. It was just one person piling on top, and suddenly I was running out in the Uintas one day, and there was a bottle laying on the side of the trail, and I reached over and picked it up, and it was kind of a bottle like my shaker bottle here, and I looked at it, and I was like, you know what, this bottle is still useful, and it just stuck with me.
Right.
Being useful, and I'm like, you know what, we're complaining a lot about trash, but nobody's doing anything about it. Why don't I do something to change, our image as a Wrangler group, which is so
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
And I threw out the opportunity. I'd give somebody $100 who collected the most trash that year or that month. And
Wow.
from that point forward, I know Trail and Ultra kind of caught on to it.
Right.
And they supported with shoe giveaways for the remaining months, and it's just kind of grown since then. A lot of support, and people love the fact that we're actually working to, leave everything better than we found it.
Right.
And that's the goal, is to, if you're going to walk in somewhere, make it a better place before you walk out.
Right.
And that's what our goal is. And I'm trying to keep it to the Wrangler page because, that's who I want, that image, and those
Yeah.
people who improved my life so much and guided me when I moved out here. I want them to have a good image when people see someone on the trail picking something up, and I wonder they're probably that Wasatch Mountain Wrangler crew.
Right.
So I mean, it's just grown, and people are eating it up and absolutely love it, and yeah. So everybody tags me in their posts now, and it's been great.
Well, I find it interesting and then sad in a way, too. Is like you said, it's like their image. But, I mean, we're all trail runners. Me and Joel have a different section that we run on more, saying you guys have yours. But we all know that 99% of the stuff you're finding isn't from you.
Yes.
No, right?
Exactly.
Or from your group.
Or from your group or
Right.
from
your crew.
From your tribe, if
Right.
you will. But that's who gets the blame for it,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
of one instance. It's like, it must be always these guys that took that 12-pack of Coors Light up there to that rock. And
I know. And
took
didn't get
it.
invited.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's what's unique. And some of the photos that people are posting, whether they're doing a run with you, because you have like big group runs to do this, or people do it on their own, the amount of garbage that you guys haul back,
Right.
that's like, it's a ton.
Yeah.
Literally. I mean, it's like, not runners don't do that much
No.
garbage. I could see a gel tab pop on, come off or,
Right.
something.
Inadvertently gets dropped.
But I've never
Or you
seen
trip and
a
fall,
cool,
and your water bottle falls over the side
Down
of
the mountain.
Yeah,
before
yeah,
it goes
exactly.
uphill, and you're just like,
I'm leaving that.
Yeah.
I'll come
that's
back later.
risking life
I'll get
on
it
my
next
getting
year.
I'll get Sween to get that
That's
for me.
right.
Exactly. Brad, next year when you do this, just run down the side of that mountain and grab
It's a
that for me.
camouflaged water bottle.
Uh-huh.
But no, I think that's because so many of the running community. Me and Joel do it. We know a lot of people. You'll pick up garbage, and sometimes it's disgusting. You'll find stuff that you don't want to pick up, and you're like,
Absolutely.
crap, I can't leave it there. Or you wait and get it on your way back to the
Always
car.
get it on the way back.
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. So I think it's a good lesson, not just for the community, like giving the Wranglers a better name. Oh, it's a Wrangler picking it up. Because sometimes you look at it, too, and it's like, well, they might be blaming them, but are they giving them credit?
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's like they deserve credit.
Yes.
You deserve credit. Yeah. And I think people that enjoy the outdoors, like us, and I don't mean like just us three, but like people that even listen to the show,
Yes.
that's what they do.
And that's kind of my goal, is to make this trash cleanup, make it trendy, so make it popular.
Right.
We all go out and we get so enamored in the photos that we take and the views that we see along the way, and trash is not glamorous.
Mm-mm.
So if you can make it one of those things where, hey, this is cool, let's post this on the internet.
Right.
And that's why I've recently changed things to Facebook posts as opposed to just saving it in your garage and pissing your wife off.
Yeah.
Keep it, just throw it away when you get to the trailhead. Just
Right.
tag, the hashtag that we use, and I'll pay $100 to the most popular, or whoever
Right.
wins the drawing at the end of the month. So that way it kind of becomes trendy, and it becomes like the thing to do. I'm out picking up trash too. Make it popular. Make it. I don't know. Make it cool.
Well, and I think it should be, right? I mean, like you said, you take these beautiful photos, and
Right.
any of these photos you take, if you stick garbage in the bottom
Right.
corner, people are going to gravitate towards that. I don't care what your view is; you're always going to see that little thing that doesn't belong.
Right.
Exactly. The trees
Well,
belong, the rocks belong.
In a way, yeah. I mean, when you're running, you kind of see those things are out of place. Because if you do the same trail over and over again, you know what to expect. Like this morning we were running,
Oh yeah,
and there was this log that's normally in the middle of the trail,
and it's buried.
and it's buried. This morning it was kind of out of the trail and out of place a little bit, and we immediately stopped because something's wrong here, something's going on, and some
Knucklehead. We'll just leave it as knucklehead.
mountain biker dug it up.
Okay.
And so we had to remove it.
We
'cause
had to
it was
remove
dangerous.
it. Yeah, at
But
that point it was dangerous. So
but
you notice those little things,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
And so we're more in tune to it.
Yeah, I think so. And the other thing is you get to some of these popular urban trails,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like Tippanogus, even
I
though
wasn't
it's
going
hard.
to go there, but yes.
yeah. Like Timp would be a good example.
That was my least favorite trail, and everybody loves it. And they're like, "Why do you not like it so much?" I did it one time 2 years ago. I was like, it was the trashiest, nastiest place I've ever been.
Right.
And I don't know, it was just a bad experience.
Yeah.
I
Right.
didn't-
We've got something like that up in our area.
Yep.
Davis County's got something.
Mhm.
Adams Canyon,
Yep.
they've got something like that. Mueller Park would be another example.
Yeah.
Just getting hammered by people that,
Want to go on a hike?
they might only hike once or twice a year, and they don't know the proper etiquette.
Bring their lunch out there. And
Yeah.
Leave
Well,
their
and
lunch.
have picnic.
And I think that's the thing is like Joel says proper etiquette, but it's
Right.
to me, and I could be a bleep bleep for saying this, but it's almost like human etiquette, right? Just
You're an old school guy.
Yeah, it's like garbage littering in any form. I hate cigarette butts out a car window. That drives me up a friggin' wall. Like it really does. And people are like, dude, it's a smell. Like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, it's disgusting. It could start a fire.
Yeah.
It's still littering. It's paper and
it's
cotton
gross.
and fill whatever.
How hard is it for you to put it in your little?
And
do they make ashtrays anymore?
I don't think you smoke in cars though, and that's the
no.
bad
You
thing. The
vape
secondhand
in them.
smoke.
No one's gonna throw their vape thing out.
Their vape. They're little.
I don't know what they're called.
What are those things called?
I don't know.
They're little piccolos.
I don't know. Piccolos. I like that. Taking the rats.
It's, but that's another goal is, you know, if we have a big enough group who is out there picking up trash, and one of those families is out there getting ready to have a picnic, and they see someone picking up trash, they'd be less apt to leave their trash there because they see that somebody else is picking up after.
Or it's a good example.
Hopefully the kids see it and remember that.
So, I mean, you don't have inmates coming up and cleaning up these trails. These are, you know, hardworking people just like, you know, you are, and they're cleaning
don't look
up
at me.
after. Well, okay.
I'm not hardworking people.
So that's another goal is to, you know, just show people that, you know, we're out here working to try to keep things clean. So do your part to not leave that trash there. And maybe it leaves a lasting effect.
You know, and sometimes it is difficult because you're out on a trail run and you may not have a vest. You might have a handheld or no water, and you see a lot of garbage. You're kind of like, well, I can't store all this garbage. You know? Because I remember we went running like a year or two ago, and there literally was a cardboard 12-pack case. I think it was Coors Light.
It was.
Joel picked it up. We're running at like 6 a.m. and he's carrying this Coors Light 12-pack pouch, and people are just looking at us like, "What the?"
Like, you guys want one?
Yeah, I know, pretty much. So, but I mean, it is, and I think that's. I don't know. You need to be commended for it because I like what you said before. Is people are piling on, but they weren't looking for a solution. Because how many times does that truly happen? A lot.
All the time.
It's easy to sit back and go, "Oh, that's this, that, and the other." But when someone steps up, and sometimes it is that one person, like you did, it snowballs, and now you've got, like I said, lots of people. You know, and it extends more from just the Wrangler page, although that is definitely the key and the starting point for this area. But now you're seeing more of it. You know, like one day, I'm not kidding you, I've said it on the show, I pulled up to my favorite trailhead. There's a Little Caesars pizza box, a fifth of wild turkey empty, and a condom wrapper. Yeah. Sitting right there. And I didn't want to pick them up because of multiple reasons. Yeah. But I thought, well, number one, someone was date night in the parking lot because that's a hot date. But, you know, it's like, oh, I'll pick that up. You know, and anybody could have picked that up. Right. But I think the more you see it, the more it registers. Exactly. Right. So now I see trash. It's like, oh, I'll pick it up. It's not because Logan told me to, but it's like it's more on Facebook. Right. Right. Or it's more of these pictures you see every day, and it kind of ingrains in yourself. Oh, I need to do that.
Exactly. And you know, Craig Lloyd, who does the Trail and Ultra, he's actually making it an initiative of his Photo Friday, or he does one of those days where he actually pitches, you know, show us your stewardship,
trash.
And
that's
what
cool.
did you clean up on the trail? So, and that's
I like show us your trash.
Yeah, that's a
show
nationwide.
Us your junk.
Yeah.
Joel's giving me the look.
That's ours, by the way. Show us your junk. That's ours now.
That could get crazy.
That's right.
But yeah, it's becoming nationwide. I mean, that's everybody's doing it across the nation.
I like the idea of Logan's junk.
Ooh, that's one that you.
Come on now.
It's bad.
No, you're looking at this the wrong way. It's all about branding and marketing, how you present your idea to a larger segment.
How you present your junk.
Yes. Thank you. See? You're being this bashful little Louisiana boy. Let us help you.
Okay. Yeah. This is what we do.
Yes. We're idea guys.
Yeah, right.
So I just pitch it to that new Wrangler who joins the group. Let me tell you about my junk.
That's right.
And they're gonna
be like, wear this shirt.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. Logan's junk with an arrow pointing down.
I heart
Logan's junk.
Like the New York ones, right?
So bad.
You think we're joking? We're serious. This will work.
This will work. It'll catch on. You'll be on Jimmy Kimmel in no time.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
But no, I think what you did there and what you've started is just awesome.
Thank you.
Know, and that's definitely a part of why we wanted you on here. I mean, your story's fun.
Plus that sexy little accent you got there.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be, our listenership's gonna rate.
Oh yeah, the ladies. We're gonna finally pick it up on the ladies' side.
Yeah, they're gonna say you need to have more.
More of Logan's
from
junk.
Louisiana. We'll even let you interview his baseball friends.
Yeah. Really, I want to talk to your grandmother.
Yeah. If I tell you what,
fun.
we can get some people on this show from Louisiana. I'll tell you what, you would have a hit then.
Yeah, right.
There's some people in their language. I actually went back home for the first time.
You'd have to be there, kind of interpret for us.
Yeah,
a little bit, wouldn't you?
Need that.
Yeah.
But I went back home for the first time last November, and I went out to my hunting camp and filmed some people out there just in their daily activities.
Yeah.
And I showed some people back here when I came back. I was like, this is day-to-day life in Louisiana.
Right.
And I'd kind of forgotten about it. I was like, it's not that bad as people make it sound. And I looked
Right.
at this video, I'm like, it's that bad. We are...
Now, wait a minute. I've been outside the wall.
We're bad.
Outside the
it's-
wall.
I mean, it's that bad. I mean, honestly, I had a video of a guy that I hunted with for years, and we're sitting there trying to work on a pump to flood a duck field back in Louisiana. And sure enough, you hear in the background, "Oh, let's just hot wire that sumbitch, and we'll get it going, and it'll last for a couple of weeks, and it'll be just fine." I'm like, I look back at this video, I'm like, yeah, I get it now. I get why we have that stereotype.
Yeah, that's fun. That's genuine. That's who you guys are.
Yeah. And there's that's awesome. Well, man, we appreciate you coming to PC Run Co.
That was
The
fun.
home of the inaugural run.
This is
Yeah.
on a Sunday.
This is what kicked it off.
first time ever.
Yeah. Candace is in the background showing this the new shoe line.
The shoe line that he's
Yeah.
the new
The
high
Sorel,
tops.
the new Sorel run line. I saw those high
27-inch drop.
Yeah.
They're new.
You missed it. She was looking for you.
To let us provide good moose protection.
There you go.
That's right.
That aren't shop moose, right?
Yeah,
They're
this-
not
yeah,
shop moose.
exactly.
You got to get that straight. But he does have a little moose on the counter, so I could see
He
where
does.
the two could get confused. So, but well, man, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely love what you're doing.
Thank you
And
so
we
much.
thank you just because we love what we do, and to see it cleaner.
Yeah.
Get that stereotype, and it's not, again, for people that don't understand, it's not like one group, it's not one person. Generally, it's a total different group of people that do it.
Right.
Yes.
But to make it better takes little effort, right?
Mhm.
Very little effort. It really takes bending over to tie your shoe and pick something up type thing.
You're going to find Logan's junk when you bend over.
Joel's on this,
Dude,
right?
you cannot live this down.
Okay,
So we have
you need to roll with it.
We have a few things on our show that will always come back.
Yeah.
And this will be, I guarantee this is going to
Exactly.
be a new one. We got
Logan
with
show.
Anna talking about the yak penis. We've
Yeah.
got,
It just so
turtle.
happens that I was the one that brought up that question.
You
so
did ask
Yeah,
that
that's right.
question?
I'm glad, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued now. I kind of want to go over to China and have a little yak penis.
Yeah.
Well, you let us know.
Exactly.
And if
How
you-
that tastes.
Yeah, bring it back. Let Grandma cook it up
That's
first.
right. Oh.
Deep fried yak penis. I bet you. Let me tell you, that's probably a delicacy.
Well, it is over there.
Yeah.
Not deep fried, I'm sure. But
They probably steam it.
yeah, steam,
It's like steamed dumplings.
like squirrel dumplings, but
Yeah.
not.
Exactly.
Yeah, thanks again for everything you're doing and everything you have done. So cool to hear your story again, because we do talk a lot to the local people and people that are from here. But it's
Right.
awesome to see kind of where you started, where you've transitioned, and of course, man, you came out and you supported us at the Ogden Trail Running
I
Festival.
know. That's so cool.
That was cool.
That was awesome. I'm looking forward to it next year.
Yeah, it's gonna
next
be.
year's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're excited. We'll see if we get Grandma to cook us some stuff.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be
Grandma
fun.
catering, that
Fly her
would be a-
out here.
Fly her out here. She's like airplanes.
We just
No. Okay, we can.
We'll get a driver.
Yeah.
We can get an Uber.
We get an Uber.
We can get a big fat deep fryer at the.
That would be awesome.
Mount
though.
Ogden
You
Park.
imagine the smell.
Yeah.
And there's so much to choose from at Mount
I mean,
Ogden Park.
uh,
too,
Dang,
right?
there's probably some coons up there we can get.
Yeah.
The local coons, right?
Yeah, local. Yeah, we
yeah.
got a local. Stay local.
Yeah,
we
we gotta
shop
stay local. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks again. Awesome to have you on. Such a pleasure to get to know you. Awesome
Yeah.
guy. We've heard, like I said, we've heard a ton of good things about you. So to meet you in person finally,
Right.
and kind of put that together. It's our pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
Super excited you agreed to come on the show, even
Yeah.
though Joel's gonna go after this new thing that makes you
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Just
Hey,
keep up
thank
that
y'all so
Logan's
much.
junk, all right?
I'm all
It's
about Logan's junk.
yeah.
We'll have to set
You're the
all-
only person that can say that.
Yeah.
have a new Instagram page, Logan's junk.
You do. I'm serious. You as soon as we get off the mic here, you need to set that up.
If
Market
someone
this
already
thing.
hasn't,
Yeah.
right?
Start
Somebody you don't
hashtagging.
know,
Yeah.
already set it up.
Yeah,
I'm all over
exactly.
it. Yeah, you start Googling it to make sure it's not on the internet.
No,
You're
don't.
gonna find some things
I'll let
that
you
need to
Google
do.
it.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that. You don't want to do that in public.
Don't do that at the library.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Or you'll hear run. So, But yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for all you're doing. And in the future, if there's anything we can do to help, on any your endeavors with the cleanups and anything
Just
else, let us know. We'd love to promote that stuff and be
push it from our
involved.
end big time.
Yeah, because it's maybe National Logan Junk Day.
There you go.
Where we can promote it across the country, whatever it is. I mean, it's just a cool idea, that, and I hope all our listeners out there, and I'm sure most do it anyway, but it's just a good reminder, you know, that, hey, let's leave everything better than we found it.
Right.
It's more enjoyable that way,
exactly.
right? And that's what it's supposed to look like, not with all that other junk on there. So
Exactly.
All right, Logan, thanks for taking the time.
Bud.
Hey, thank y'all so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to get to know you, and hopefully we'll catch up on our own sometime.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks. Thank you for listening to the TrailManners Podcast. We'd like to thank Logan Ledford for taking the time to join us today. We also want to encourage everybody to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at TrailManners, or you can swing by our website. Check out the store page for your swagging rights, or you can hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or even if you would like to be on the show. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Joel Hatch reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.